Hey guys, welcome back to Just a Geek in the Garage. Today I want to talk about all of my snap-on screwdrivers, and similar to what I did with my plier video, I'm going to kind of show you, which ones I have, which ones I would buy again, which ones I've actually bought duplicates of because I like them so much, and which ones I would probably skip in the future if I had to do it all over again. As you can see, this is a collection that kind of spans about 30 years or so, with some of the pieces being even older than that. Kind of up in this quadrant up here, and then I have a few other ones that are still in their kind of cases as well. So just kind of want to go over them and just kind of go through what I bought these for and what I actually still use them for today. So I think my first screwdriver from Snap-on is I just bought this one individual Phillips number 2, with the long shank on it. For what I was doing back then, I just needed something kind of basic, but I needed something that was going to hold up because all the cheaper screwdrivers I was using at the time, the tip of them kept getting stripped out, and so it was cheaper for me just to buy one high quality one than to keep replacing my old screwdrivers. And when you're working, professionally, day in day out, that's definitely when I think you want to spend a little bit of money, especially on kind of your most used tools. From there, I like that one so much that I went to their ratcheting screwdriver. This guy right here, kind of the OG ratcheting screwdriver that they have. This one is actually a replacement. After about 25 years, the gears finally kind of gave out and were skipping. And I got this one replaced about a year ago or so. So it looks almost identical to the old one. One thing that I did notice on it, and one of the reasons why I keep kind of saying Snap-on's quality control has gone down, is I have old products and new products, identical model number, but they look a little bit different. I'm sorry, this is kind of out of focus. But one thing I noticed is that there is it's hard to catch on camera, but there's a kind of a seam here that you can see. That on the old version of this, you could not see the seam at all whatsoever. And the printing was actually a little bit crisper on the old one than it is on the new one. I mean, it works, does exactly what it's supposed to do. I still like the feel of this one. Has just kind of the right number of gears, reversible, and Williams makes a version of this as well, which is great. So I bought those, and then from there, I think I had. This one's actually kind of an interesting one. This is, a really old Phillips number 2 screwdriver. This one I just found actually in a client's car. An old mechanic must have just left it in there and just forgot about it. And I asked the customer if they wanted it. They said no. So I got to keep it. Still works perfectly. This thing's, probably way over 30 years old. And even the tip of it on this one is still great. From there, I kind of went more into their ratcheting line. So initially, let's see, which one did I purchase? I think I purchased this guy right here, the 5-position. Pretty expensive at the time. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it. Now this sells for about $100 on Amazon's website. But the cool thing about it is, it has the 5 positions, to the right or to the left. And then it has the removable shank system. And then with this, I have the kind of the regular length one on here right now. When you buy it just by itself, normally it comes with this short shank. But again, they're interchangeable to use kind of what you want them for. This tool, I like so much. Like you said, you can see I have 2 of them here. And then what I also did is, I purchased some sets they were actually brand new at the time. This is probably the late 90s, early 2000s, and they had just switched or added these soft grips at the time, because before this was their only ratcheting sets. And they added, let me see if I can get it on camera here. They added this set here in front of you. They came with kind of a regular version. It doesn't, adjust, doesn't have, multiple positions. It's slightly shorter, but it came with the regular and the stubby and a few different shanks. So you have the short shank, the regular shank, the extra long shank, and then the 1/4 inch for using with sockets. So this was a great set at the time. I couldn't afford the full thing, so I bought it, as you see it kind of here, and then I added this much later that came with the full bit sets. So which is great. So this I keep kind of in the case, as in case I want to take it with me. This is another thing where I actually bought a second full set of these not that long ago. I was able to get one on a really good deal, brand new. So I decided to jump on it because Again, one of my favorite screwdrivers. So ratcheting wise, you know, is really kind of where I think is Snap-on's bread and butter. For me at least, is my favorite tool probably from them. And then next up, I got another one similar to the other version. This one just comes in this case in foam that you can take out and put in your toolbox. The titanium gray handle, you know, all the different shanks. And this one has a few more useful bits because this has both metric and standard bits, where the other one is only standard bits. So those ones, like I said, I keep in the case just in case I want to kind of take it with me, know that I have most of the bits that I need. But on my day-to-day, this is probably going to be, you know, my most used one. So 100% recommend them. Yes, they're expensive, but they've lasted me a very long time. And like I said, even when there was a hiccup with this guy, they replaced it, no problem. From there, actually, this is an interesting one. This one actually I made. It was a handle I had left over from something. One of their long Phillips number 2 bits just so happened to fit. Put it in a vise, hammered it down, and it works. So not something that's part of their catalog, but you know, sometimes you improvise and make your own tools. From there, a couple of honorable mentions. It's not Snap-on, but excuse me, it's Blue Point. This is the Blue Point ratcheting screwdriver. This I haven't had for that long. I decided to pick it up because, you know, I saw it. I liked the regular Snap-on one. I said, hey, you know, might as well try the Blue Point one. I don't like this guy at all. I would 100% skip this one. There's a lot better, ratcheting screwdrivers out there. I would much rather, you know, for probably, you know, 30-40% cheaper than this, I would get, you know, like a Vessel ratcheting screwdriver before I would buy a Blue Point ratcheting screwdriver. However, when it comes to electric screwdrivers, this guy, very old, again, probably in the 25-30-year-old range. I made a video about this one not too long ago. I converted it from NiCad to lithium ion, but this thing is still going strong, you know, after the battery replacement. So this is a great one. If you can find one of those, you know, an old one on eBay or something and refurbish it, I would definitely recommend it. Let's see, where do we go from here? From there, even though these ones are old, actually these are fairly new. I kind of picked them up on eBay, saw them, thought they were kind of cool. They're just the kind of the classic, just bit drivers, just, you know, fits any 1/4-inch bit. Have, you know, some storage up here, kind of the predecessor to this guy, but they don't have, it's not ratcheting or anything like that. One of them I picked up for a few dollars. It was actually missing the top. I actually just 3D printed the top for this, or kind of designed and 3D printed a top to kind of match what it should look like. But you know, you can usually pick these things up for $10-15 on eBay, and I think for that it's worth it. From there, I purchased, I think it was going to be, I purchased this set right here, and it's a great set when I want just a regular screwdriver. You know, usually obviously the Phillips number 2 is kind of the go-to. This is what I'm going to grab, assuming that we have the space for a handle this big. If not, maybe I'm going to grab something else. Kind of an honorable mention, you know, I might grab the Williams. And, you know, one thing I've said before is that if you like the Snap-on hard handles, is go for the Williams hard handles, because, you know, they're, just dropped something. They are pretty much identical. I've had good luck with both of them, and you can get the Williams for a fraction of the price of the Snap-on. But again, this is a great set. You know, if you can find it used or for a cheaper price, I'd recommend it. I think this is 9 pieces. I forget which one I added. I think it was the larger slotted one right here. But normally I think it's an 8-piece set with the stubbies, and it's around like $80 brand new. So quite you know, quite the bill to pay for a set of screwdrivers. But again, great screwdrivers, made in the USA, lifetime warranty, and they're roughly the same price as Cornwell's brand new, but those ones are not made in the USA. From there, kind of picked up a couple just to kind of have. They came out with this cool little pocket screwdriver, and it's actually a reversible bit, so it has, you know, slotted on one end, Phillips number 2 on the other end. And the nice thing about this one is if you have longer bits, you know, they will fit in there. It's magnetic, so you can kind of have this with you, and you can use, you know, any bit that will fit in there basically. So great little guy. I'd probably recommend it. I forget what this thing was, maybe, you know, $15 or so, but for something Snap-on, you know, that's a relatively good deal. Next up, I picked up or I guess it would be last up here, as I picked up these guys right here. This is their reversible blade screwdrivers. The main difference is this one is a 4-in-1. This one is an 8-in-1. And so what that basically means, the handle itself is pretty much identical, and they're actually, the shanks are interchangeable. But this one just has where when you take it out, it's a double-sided bit, and it goes in. Where this one, when you take it out, each side has actually 2 double-sided bits, so a total of 4 bits. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility. Honestly, I only bought both because the one with the 8 bits did not come in green, or I couldn't find it in green. I think it was sold out. So I bought the black one, and I think it was about $38. And then the green one was this one with the 4 bits, and I think it was around $31. And I just swapped out the shanks. These guys, honestly, I would probably skip. I just bought them just because I think I was one of the rare times I was buying Snap-on tools online, and I wanted to hit my $250 minimum for free shipping. So I added those as well. Now that I have a Snap-on guy, I probably wouldn't have, picked these up, or at least probably only picked up one, not both. So having kind of shown you all of everything I have here in front of you, like I said, basically, the Instinct Grip, I love these guys. They are a bit expensive. If you're not willing to pay the price for these, you can do something like, actually, a set of that I really like is Vessel. They're around $26. I did a video on those, I think yesterday or the day before. And so you can get a decent set of screwdrivers for, a lot less. But if you can afford them, definitely great, kind of the gold standard of screwdrivers. From there, I don't think there's no shame in just buying a screwdriver that you need. For me, again, and for most of us, probably 90% of the time, you're picking up a Phillips number 2. There's, if you want to go and just spend $30 and get just the Phillips number 2, you can do that as well. You don't have to go and spend, $160, $180 for a full set, because I rarely ever use any of the other sizes. It's pretty much just the Phillips number 2. And so that's something to keep in mind. So I would definitely buy these again, but keep in mind what you actually need. These, for most people, I would probably skip. They're kind of more collector's items for me than anything else. If I could only buy one screwdriver, it would be this guy right here, just because it's so useful, especially since you can put the interchangeable shanks in here as well, so you kind of decide which one works for you, or buy a couple. The shanks are kind of expensive separately. I think they're about $25-$30 a piece, but again, this is my most used Snap-on screwdriver, and that's why I bought a second one, just to have. And then if you can afford that set that has the regular and the stubby, that's a great set to get also. But that one I think runs around $500 or $600. I mean, it's pretty crazy expensive now. If you can find a deal on it, great. If not, if you only got $100 to spend at Snap-on, this is going to be definitely the way to go. But of all the screwdrivers that I have here in front of you, most of them I wouldn't say skip. They all have their place, but the one that I really would say just skip is going to be this Blue Point. And again, if you're going hard handle and you don't care about the color, go Williams instead of Snap-on. At least that's my opinion. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment down below. What do you think? Are these, super overpriced? Would you buy them? Would you consider buying just the single tool that you need, or do you like buying sets? So, please comment down below. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.